Lead Generation Masterclass. We're currently on week 3. This is a 13-week program that goes around exploring lots of LinkedIn lead generation methods. Today, we're looking at, in particular, how to connect with prospects on LinkedIn. Before we go into the main agenda, just a quick introduction. Martin, obviously I've known you for a few years now.
Yep.
Do you want to just introduce yourself to the rest of the room and the guys on the live stream? Well, not on the live stream, on the recording.
All right. Yeah, Martin Evans. I'm based up just north of Manchester in a place called Ripondon, which is sort of Lancashire, Yorkshire part of the world. I am getting back into the work, the cut and thrust of commercial industrial sales in the sector of electric vehicles, battery charging, solar power, and all the clever microgrid stuff that brings it all together, where typically large organizations that use a lot of electricity, a lot of energy, are struggling, and we've got the technology to help them save costs, save money, and generally do all those wonderful environmentally green sustainable things that apparently are all good ticks in the right direction.
Great, thanks, Martin. And in terms of your lead gen activities on LinkedIn to date, what's that? If you can sum that up.
With the help of Leadeth, as and when I've dipped in with various projects, with Alex's help over the years, I've seen a phenomenal uplift from what I do myself, my own laborious. Sending out an invite here and a quick message there and so on, adding Leadeth alongside what I naturally do in networking, communicating. I reckon I've certainly added hundreds of key contacts, the right level, the right level of interaction. So I've found it incredibly powerful. And from what Alex tells me, there's a better way of doing it from what I've been doing already. Hence I'm here to learn more. So
Excellent.
I find it all good stuff. And to be fair, I've spoken to loads of people who purport to be LinkedIn marketers who are quite happy to charge you best part of 10 grand. So what Alex does in relative terms is quite phenomenal.
Great, thank you, Martin. That's always good to have that testimonial. I might use that one. Andre, Pool Software. Sounds like you're only up the road from me, possibly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Pool Software up the road, and Paul Dorset, the best place in the UK. So Pool Software, we do bespoke software development and support for businesses or anybody really. One of the highlights recently is we've developed a job management software for a network of garages, a national network of garages, which manages them to helps them to manage all the jobs from start to finish as the call comes in the call center, through reporting, dashboards, and everything, billing, and so yeah, that's the kind of stuff we do. And I understand that LinkedIn is kind of powerful. It helps. I do bits and pieces. I send requests, reach out. I've managed to get a couple of discussions with people. So yeah, I'm on and off. It's not something I should probably give it more attention, but yeah.
Right. Well, thank you, Andre. Great to have you with us. Is that a Romanian name?
Moldovan. So I'm from Moldova. But yeah, we used to be Romania, and then we got cut off and all sorts of historical events. But I speak a dialect of Romanian and yeah, a few languages.
Wow, great. And Paul, let's have a quick intro from you. Oh, you're muted, Paul. We had you earlier, but you're muted. It's funny how that doesn't get old, that gag, does it?
There we go.
Oh, we can hear you, but we can't see you now, but that's fine.
Okay, do the one or the other. Apologies for that. I will get it sorted. First of all, I can beat Andre. Andre might be in Paul, but I'm actually Alex. I'm actually sat in copy number 1. Not far from you at all. I live in Cordington. Um,
Brilliant. Down the road.
Down the road, literally down the road. I am just in the process of starting up a new business with regards to coaching, executive coaching, business coaching, other bits of coaching. Very, very early stages. I'm currently, I've been doing business and I've done my own businesses and various things for many, many years. I've just started a program that's teaching me and getting me into setting up a coaching business as such. The program is teaching me various things based via Facebook, although I think my audience is going to be really on LinkedIn. I do have a LinkedIn account, but haven't used it for a while. Didn't really get to do much with it. Had an email from you, Alex, yesterday thinking, oh, that was interesting. Went and had a look at leaders from various different bits and pieces. So I thought, well, I would join in today, and being as it's number 3, I will catch up on number 1 and number 2, and just follow you through. I'm not really ready to get fired up with things, but I just wanted to get started and spend an hour just listening or so, and taking some stuff in so that I can hit it as we move forward. And Alex, I'd be so keen to have a chat with you at some point, maybe get a coffee thing as well.
Yeah. There's no excuse for a face-to-face coffee.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So
well,
yeah, that's
excellent.
Me, so
thank you for the introduction, Paul. So good that you've hopped on. And also Chantel, are you with us, Chantel? Do you want a quick introduction? We see a in the chat. Feel free to hop on and introduce yourself to the others. We're just doing some intros. Action coach. Yep. So Chantel here is joining us from Action Coach. I've worked with a few action coaches in the past, both as a mentee and I've also worked with action coaches to help them get new clients. So and Chris Croft is just joining us as well. All these latecomers to the party. Chris, we'll just say hello to Chris and then we'll get cracking. Sorry guys, this has been a bit of an elongated start this morning. If you're with us, Chris, now's your chance to just say hello, and do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes. Well, hello, I'm Chris. I run training courses. I do a lot on LinkedIn, a lot of posting and things. I haven't really done much actually contacting via LinkedIn. I do get sneaky little messages on LinkedIn where people just say hi, and then you think, oh, right, and then after a week you then get, can I interest you in my book? I've just written this, and you get a whole load of stuff that you're not interested in. And so as soon as they say hi, I sort of know that they're going to sneakily try to sell me something.
Yeah, classic.
Which is, it's just a horrible approach. So I'm interested in better ways of doing that.
Excellent.
I don't know. Is that an introduction about me? I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Any specific industry, Chris, are you focused on with your training? Any specific industry are you focused on with your training?
No, it's really random who I train. I mean, insurance companies, IT companies. It's usually 10 or 20 people at once, and usually in the UK, but sometimes it's over Zoom and it can be people in America.
Excellent.
Sometimes it's face-to-face in the UK, drive around the country.
Okay, great. Well, we'll kick off through the agenda. So briefly today, this is what we're looking at for the next probably about 20 minutes. I'll run through a bit of a slide presentation, but I'll do an introduction. We're going to look at understanding your ideal customer. 3 different connection methods. So those are going to be manual methods, semi-automatic methods using tools, and then fully automated methods, which systems like Leadith can help you to automate that on autopilot, which is just great because it's like hitting your target market on steroids. You have thousands of connections in a short space of time. And then we're going to look at diving into using ChatGPT to write actual campaigns. and I might give you more of an overview at the end if there's time on the Leadith tool. We'll have some open Q&As as well, but feel free as we go along through the session this morning, just feel free to pop your hand up if you've got a question, and we'll kind of dive into those questions. So just a quick introduction. So here we go. This is me. My name is Alex Smith, founder of Leadith. Started Leadith around about 3 years ago. It was kind of a COVID-born project. I was a sales representative for the Federation of Small Businesses on a commission-only basis, trying to get members in. I had to get 10 members every month in my area. And COVID came. I was unable to go door knocking, cold calling, phoning people up. They weren't answering. So I thought there's got to be a smarter solution out there that would help me to achieve this through LinkedIn. And evaluated probably 10 different platform softwares, all the pros and cons, the costs, everything. And found a tool that allowed me to manage it on behalf of clients in the cloud. I white labeled the tool and started managing it for about 20 other MAs from the same organization. And it was kind of repeatedly bringing in really good new members for the organization. So I thought there's got to be something in this. Have stuck with it. My background is actually printing, and also have a digital marketing business on the side as well. So just a quick, real big overview. Paul might find this useful. I don't know how, kind of, because you're quite early doors. Obviously, when we talk about LinkedIn and marketing, it's all about awareness. So putting posts out there, putting content out there, it's all about getting that awareness, making sure people are aware of you, your services. And obviously, as you go down this funnel, as you can see, it gets a bit smaller and smaller. You're going to lose customers who it's not right for them. The interest stage, so that's where you're piquing their interest. They've got a problem and they've heard that you've got a solution that can address that problem. The consider stage part, that's kind of about your website. Does a lot of that consider stage stuff. Having testimonials from clients and things like that, that's going to help. And then you go down the funnel right to the bottom into that purchase stage, and then you want to retain that client for as long as you can. The modern version of this is called the flywheel effect, and that's where we're attracting clients, we're engaging with them, we're delighting them, and then they become advocates for us. So your clients are actually advocating you to bring more clients on board, and it's this continual cycle, which is fantastic. This is the Leadith roadmaps. This is where I've actually broken each of these 6 steps down into a masterclass. So today kind of picks up on number 3, LinkedIn outreach automation. But ideally, everything we're doing on LinkedIn, we're looking at how we can identify our target market. We're priming our personal LinkedIn profile to make sure it speaks with clarity to that target market. So when someone looks at your LinkedIn profile, straight away they know what you're about and what you can do to help them. And then LinkedIn outreach is kind of creating this outreach automation system. A nice natural follow-on to that is the email outreach piece. And then we've got video content on its own. That's creating really effective video content. We actually create on the Done For You plan 13 pieces, 1 to 2 minutes long, and that gets recycled on a weekly basis. So we're pushing content out there, putting you as an industry leader in your space. And then the appointment setting bit, number 6, is all about making sure we're capturing all those leads into CRMs and tools like that, and nurturing those contacts, because it's all about the touch points. You need lots and lots of touch points with people before they kind of get it and it sinks in. So that was just a super fast overview. So before we start connecting with potential prospects on LinkedIn, it's important to understand, who our ideal customer actually is. And knowing this ideal customer is going to help us to create more of a targeted approach to then connect, and sending out connection requests and the messages. It's going to increase the chances of getting those positive reactions. So we always think about our connection rate, the rate at which people are connecting to us. And another sort of thing is the reply rates, the number of replies we're getting on the back of campaign, positive replies. So understanding the ideal customers, about thinking about the job titles, the company sizes, number of employees in the business, the industry, any specific locations which could be relevant to that audience. So any other relevant information that you can kind of gain from what your audience is, that's going to help you to determine whether that potential prospect is going to be a good fit for your business, and whether you need to, in the long run, you're going to be investing a lot of time into that lead, nurturing them. So if you get it right from the start, you're nurturing the right sorts of people. It's going to save you time and money. So there's several ways to identify these potential prospects. Previous video, probably 2 weeks ago, looked at 4 different techniques to how we can identify that target audience on LinkedIn. So we looked at LinkedIn searches, basic searches. Then you've got sales navigator searches. You can also find people in LinkedIn groups, LinkedIn events, because that's a nice natural congregation point for your target customer potentially. And then we also looked at a completely different system, which is off LinkedIn, and that's using email data like Apollo.io. So have a flick through the replays and pick up on that session, because it will probably really help you. So understanding your ideal clients, we've just looked at this. They're the different places. We're just going to kind of focus on the messaging now. So we know who our ideal client is at this stage, and we're going to drive into some different connection methods. So the first method, if you're on a very tight budget, is a manual connection method. And what this looks like in terms of, quite simply, I'll just show you a demo on LinkedIn. So we've got a contact here. He's actually a first degree connection, so it's probably not the best example. But if we search for an owner or founder or director, just hit enter. So this is what we call a basic search. I've got just the free version of LinkedIn, which is fine for me. We choose people. We're doing a people search, and then we can start to drill down through these different options here. So connections. So we want to target new people that get connected to. So I'm going for second degree connections. Obviously, you can target your first degree, because that's a bit like low hanging fruit. So sending a campaign out to a first degree prospect is going to be very valuable as well. Let's go for England. So we've got about 9,000 results. No specific industry specified. Obviously, you can add more keywords. All filters kind of opens up a few more for you. So you can say, right, what do they talk about? Do they talk about marketing? Hashtag marketing, show results. So these could all be relevant prospects, these 321 that I've identified, because they all talk about marketing. So they've got marketing interest. And then kind of the natural progression from this to do it manually would be to click on a prospect, and we'll just open that in a new tab. The reason I've opened it in a new tab is because that takes up less searches going back and forth to the search screen. So I've always got my search screen open, and I'm just opening up one prospect at a time in a new tab. If you keep going back to the search screen, then you can exceed LinkedIn's limitations quite quickly, especially if you've got automation tools running in the background. So when we're talking about sort of a campaign with to connect to this person, we go to the manual method is clicking on that connect button, and then sending a bespoke message, which we're going to look into in a bit more detail. So for me, it's not come up with an option saying, can I send a message with it? There's a little padlock here. So you can, if you're premium, you can do different things with different people. It depends on how their profile's set up. But typically you would send a message with that pen connection. That's not a good example, but so let's try another one. We'll go back to that search screen, close that one down. Here we go. We've got another one. This has got an indication that they're a premium or a sales navigator by that gold eye symbol. We'll have a look at Adam next. And again, connect if you know each other. We've got an option here to hit that connect button, and the invitation goes out. So yeah, it doesn't actually, it's not actually asking me today to send a message with it. I've got a little padlock, so it's encouraging me to log into premium and do it. But typically you would normally get a box coming up here. For some reason it's not happening today, I don't know why, but it'll ask you to put a message with your connection. Okay. More send profile message. Yep, there's no other options. I don't know whether LinkedIn's just changed this recently. I don't know, but normally you would send it up to 220 character message. So that's the manual method. Now what we've got is another method. So let's go back to our searches. Say we wanted to connect with a lot of people in our existing first degree network. So we've identified a few people who mentioned marketing. So these could all be really good results for me. Obviously, they're in the first degree now, so we can now message these people. So obviously the manual process is to go to message and start to write a message here. Now, there's this semi-automatic tool. So there's actually a Chrome extension I've got installed here called Magical. It's called GPT-4 AI Writer. There it is. If you click on it, it takes you to the download page of the tool. Just so you know where I get it from. If you Google Magical and search for Chrome extension, here it is. It looks like this. So if you're using the Chrome browser, it's a one-click button, and then that will install this little plugin which sits in the side. Magical is a fantastic time-saving tool that allows you to drop in lots of templates. So that you can literally type 3 keys on your keyboard and it brings up that template. And it can also work with personalization fields as well. So this is a bit of a kind of semi-automatic method of sending lots of messages in mass. So if we go back to this one, you can basically trigger it by doing 2 forward slashes, and that activates the tool. So I've just got this preparing live stream spinning around on my computer this morning. Come on, it's not working today on the demo. Everything's falling down on me today. My live stream is not working this morning.
Always the way, isn't it, when you want to show people?
Yeah. Come on. The trigger is basically 2 forward slashes, and it pops up with a little list of templates that you want to paste, basically. So it's a bit like copying and pasting, except you have within Magical, you have a list of, let's just check it's okay. Yeah, it's installed. It's installed on Chrome. Yeah.
So do you create the list? Can you create as many as you like? And then
so basically you can create as many templates as you want and give them a shortcut. So it could be you've got a specific shortcut for a connection message. So, and you can use data tags like first name, and it will basically realize who you're sending a message to. It will populate it with the first name. So that's a bit of a hybrid approach using Magical. For some reason it's not loading up for me, but it's got this AI writer built into it. So it's kind of looking at content that's already open on your screen, and then gives you some suggestions as well. So it's like Grammarly, but with a bit of AI in it. So it's but it's not working on the demo today, unfortunately. So I don't know why it's not working, but it's been pretty reliable for me. But check it out. If you can get it working, let me know.
What does the AI do? I mean, apart from put the person's name in, does the AI create?
Yeah, so if you start writing a couple of sentences, it kind of pre-fills and writes the rest of the sentence for you. That's what it's working.
It's not just copying and pasting messages you've pre-written. It actually creates it on the fly. As you're doing it. So kind of all on demand. So that's correct. And that's kind of what takes us into the kind of the manual approach now. The manual, we've done the manual approach, we've done the semi-automatic approach. I'll take you into kind of what we're doing for that, how to create using AI. So if I share another screen, I'll log into OpenAI. How many of you are using OpenAI, ChatGPT currently? Is there quite a few of you?
Just a couple of times I messed about with it just out of interest, but not really looked into it that much.
Yeah,
similar to Andre's response, really.
Okay, cool.
I think I need to put time aside to get my head around it and then implement it.
Yeah. So what we're saying here is I've got a template document of effective templates that I've used in the past for connection messages. Things like the "This is me" template. Hello, first name. Would love to work for you. I work for such and such company. That's your business. Would love to connect. Things in common templates. I'll share this document on the chat, so you've got a copy of it. But they'll give you a bit of a framework in terms of messages, and then I'll show you how to create your own more bespoke messages. Let me just share that into the chat. That's that one. So that's the Google kind of template. So there's lots of different things. Flatter their ego template is quite a good one. So noticing on their position at such and such a company, looking to connect with professionals like you to better understand the challenges in your field. It's all about adding value to clients, all these messages. So where possible, don't be salesy, don't be too spammy, but it's all about how you can add value. With what I'm doing currently in ChatGPT then, so I've got this LinkedIn campaign scripting. I've actually gone for, I've put in a bit of text and quite a bit of text here. I'll paste exactly what I've done for myself. But I've actually got a template one that you can probably script as well. So if I just go to ChatGPT, hopefully, so this is the prompt, what we call a prompt. Oh, message is too long to paste. I'll share a link to it shortly. So basically my prompt says, please script a LinkedIn marketing campaign using a connection request message limited to 220 characters, including spaces, and 3 follow-up messages, 1 day, 3 day, and 1 day apart. The first message must thank them for connecting with me. The messages should focus on building relationships and adding value to my target audience rather than being spammy or sales focused. The messages need to add value and focus on relationship building. I've got a bit of that, duplicated that bit. You can use merge tags, first name, company name, and job title. And if necessary, to further personalize them if appropriate. Each follow-up message must be a maximum of 50 words long. To avoid spammy words like cool, phone, or free. Use 1 emoji per message as well, so that you can restrict it, or you can say don't put any emojis in as well. And then this is where you can kind of just change it, chop and change it for your specific industry. My target audience is B2B SMEs. Their job titles are owner, founder, managing director, marketing director, head of marketing in the business consulting niche. So what we'll do is copy this script, go into a brand new ChatGPT window. Would anyone like to volunteer running through this and scripting it out for what they do, just to see what it comes out with? Any takers?
I'll have a go if you wish.
Go on then, Martin. So the first thing is your target audience. So your target audience, if you could describe them in a few words for me.
Well, let me see. B2B for sure, but not really SMEs. It's how would you describe it? Large corporate, industrial, high energy use. Is that something? We've got to check it, haven't we?
High energy use. Large corporate.
Corporate, yeah. Large corporate, yeah. Okay.
Large corporate.
Is it?
Corporate businesses. Large corporate businesses.
Was it corp or
manufacturing or services, maybe, if it's either of those?
Yes, yeah, that's a good shout. Would it be meant? Would that tally, Martin?
Yeah, we can run with that. Yep. It really is why, it's local authority, it's NHS, it's a whole host of really high energy use organisations. But that would certainly.
You could put public sector.
Yeah,
you might not only want that, but
public sector. And typical job titles of these people you're reaching out to.
It's sort of C-level, so it's finance director, operations director.
Operations directors.
Energy manager, perhaps. Probably more senior than that, but that would give us a flavor.
So more, if we were to only put one specific job title, then that would tailor the responses a bit better. Yep. But that's fine. We'll run with it. So
Alex, I have a question.
Yeah,
if I can very quickly, right in here, because I have this problem with what titles do we use, and this whole divide between USA and UK. I mean, I know UK is kind of starting to use this CIO and CEO and COO and all these OOs. When you say finance director as opposed to CFO, are you missing out or
Not for this purpose. For this, so that actually is on the search on LinkedIn when you're actually trying to find the prospect. So yeah, you want to put in as many as you want to kind of open that up a bit, to cover off all bases. So in terms of teaching ChatGPT what your audience is about on typical job titles, I don't think it's too critical for this bit. But certainly, yeah, if you're going to do your search, finding the prospects you want to connect with, then yeah, be very specific about the job titles and include all the ones that are relevant. So any specific niche?
We'll run with manufacturing for the purpose of this, I think.
The manufacturing niche. So what's the main goal of the campaign in terms of what are we hoping to achieve? Is it generate leads? Is it become an authority of,
ultimately become an authority, but we're looking to generate just opening dialogue really with these people, get to know them, understand their issues. Understand their pain points regarding energy.
So what is the value add that we're going to provide to them in terms of what does that look like? So for me, my value add is my weekly masterclasses. It's a free opportunity for them to come on board and learn. Yeah. How are you kind of adding value up front?
Well, I'm currently in my last LinkedIn poll was asking people about these people about what's called a grid constraint.
Yeah.
In other words, they can't get the huge amount of electricity or power they require from the grid, so they've turned to an alternative source, which is diesel generation, and we've got an alternative that is incredibly cost effective. So
alternative energy source.
Yeah. An alternative energy source, I think, would do at this stage. It's a bit broad brush, but let's see what that.
I can help them solve their problems by. So this is what.
Yeah.
Right. Message.
How specific do we get then from this point onwards?
Yeah, I mean, let's leave it at that. See what we're getting. Please write the messages using a friendly and helpful tone. So, what sort of tone do you want to come across to that audience?
I think friendly and helpful. Let's see what that looks like.
Yep. And any call to action URLs that you need to include.
That's a good point.
So some people would include a Calendly on message 3 or 4.
Yes, a Calendly link.
So
what about an attachment that opens up what we do in detail, or is that too early to introduce that?
Yeah, if you've got it as part of your sequence, if you've got like a case study you want to send them to or something like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is just the LinkedIn message side. So the real effective campaigns are the ones where you introduce a phone call or leave a voice note for them. And when you add other different stages, other different methods, or a follow-up email, that's where it starts to work a bit more effectively. And even with this, we can also write a follow-up email.
No, that's good. When would I introduce a Loom video saying, "Hi, I'm Martin. I've been around the space for 20 years."
Pretty early on, after a day after connecting with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Get that introduction out. A follow-up email, email body and subject line, which I can send 7 days later. So boom, we'll send all that gubbins off to ChatGPT now. This is what it's going to kind of spin back. Hi, first name. I help finance and operations directors to reduce their energy costs. So you're speaking to that target. You're kind of, if that resonates with them, they're going to read on. Would love to connect and explore how I can add value to company name. So that's obviously their business. So that's kind of your introduction message. We've then got a couple of follow-up messages. Thanks for connecting, first name. Just wondering, what are some of the energy challenges that you're currently facing at such and such business? Message 2 talks about, hi, first name. Wanted to check and see if you had a chance to think about your energy challenges. We'd love to explore some cost-effective solutions for such and such business. Message 3 goes on, hope you're doing well. Came across this interesting article on energy savings, and I thought it'd be helpful for someone in your position. Have a great day. So that's kind of getting them to a case study potentially there.
Yeah.
Follow-up message maybe a week later. Just want to touch base if you had a chance to review the energy saving solutions we offer. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else I can do to help. And then for the follow-up email, it's suggesting reducing your energy costs with our cost-effective solutions as a subject line, and then going in, dear first name, I wanted to follow up on our recent LinkedIn connection to see if you had a chance to explore some of the cost-effective alternative energy solutions we offer. Solutions have helped finance and operations directors in the manufacturing niche significantly reduce their energy costs whilst meeting their sustainability goals. I don't know, is that all relevant?
A lot of that is perhaps a little tweak here and there, but it's
it's a framework.
It's a huge chunk of thought removed.
Yes, I
could have put the kettle on and made some toast in that time, so it's very efficient.
It's very much driven on these prompts that we feed it.
Of course, I see that now. Yeah.
So what we're I'll just show you what I'm doing with my GTM. Bear with me. I'll just show you the document, the go-to-market document that we've got. Sign in, go to docs. Yeah, so things that we look at in terms of go-to-market strategy. So this is where we start to look at, what sets you apart from your competitors. What do you want to sell to your customers' clients? What's your price point? What problems does your service or product solve? What makes you different? And then we look at the ideal client. What's their buying motivations? What are their primary motivations? Three to four primary topics that align with this offer. Telltale symptoms that they need you. Is there something glaringly obvious that can, you can say, yeah, you're an ideal client. And what is the results that they want to obtain? So thinking about, being results driven, that value proposition. So once we've kind of got all that data, that's what we're feeding into this ChatGPT prompt, and that's just helps us to do a bit better. Now, what I've done in the past is also apply different like frameworks. You could say, please can you ask me more questions to further improve this campaign using, for example, Donald Miller's story brand. If you're not aware of Donald Miller's story brand, it's a book written about clarifying your message so customers will listen. It's a fantastic book. Get a copy of it. It's a really good read. So obviously ChatGPT has read every single best-selling sales book in the world. So you can basically say, please ask me for a few more questions to further improve this campaign using the story brand book as a framework. Boom. And then it'll ask you pertinent questions to further improve this campaign. So here's a few things to consider. What is the primary problem or challenge that your target audience is facing when it comes to energy usage and cost? How does your cost-effective energy solution solve that problem or address that challenge in a unique way compared to your competitors? What is the specific call to action that you want your target audience to take after receiving your LinkedIn message or email? How can you make your messages more engaging and more memorable to your target audience so they're more likely to take action? You can actually go in further and say, ChatGPT, can you suggest me some more ideas for number 4? And it would spit it out. How can you make your messages more customer focused, highlighting the benefits that your solution provides to your target audience, rather than simply listing features or capabilities? And then number 6 is, can you include any social proof and testimonials? Because this is going to help you to build trust, credibility with your target audience. And then how can you use storytelling in your message to create a more emotional connection with your target audience? So connecting with them on the emotion side. So sorry, I just realized my camera's disappeared somewhere. So those, if you basically feed it back in answers to those specific questions, it will then recraft that campaign with a bit more clarity, and so hopefully your target audience will really resonate with that.
Yeah.
But as with all marketing, it's all about testing and measuring this, and doing different campaigns, seeing the results.
Yeah.
So that's quite a bit there on ChatGPT. Just going to switch to the Leadith platform, which is doing this on, kind of autopilot. So once we've created a campaign, we're basically feeding it with lots of prospects and driving them into these sorts of campaigns. So was that question, Paul? I can't hear you.
Yes, sorry.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
You can hear me. Yeah, sorry. Just a quick question. Was that GTP3 or GTP4?
Yeah, no, that's just a free one. So yeah, the GPT.
No, beg your pardon. Sorry. 3 or 4?
It's 3.5, I think, is what it's referred to as, ChatGPT 3.5. I haven't got the pro version, but the 4 apparently is a whole nother level. Works very differently, and apparently it's like 10 times better than this current free one. But yeah, so it's a great tool. So what we've got going on here at Leadith is we can identify prospects from a database of people, very similar to Sales Navigator. We've got a prospect finder tool with I think it's about 640 mapped LinkedIn profiles. So it's a data repository that's collected all that data. And then we can allocate those prospects into a specific campaign. So here I've got a marketing campaign that I've created. I'll just wait for this to load. Come on. This is going to fail on me as well today. I think it's internet related, because it all seems to be really sluggish.
Get all the failures out the way today, then you've cracked it, haven't you?
Yeah.
It'll only get better going forward.
You've probably got Spotify running on your computer or something like that somewhere.
Yes, yeah. I have got quite a few apps open and tabs open and different things. It probably just needs to shut down and a reboot. But going into it, so we've got a marketing campaign, and straight away we can see all the prospects that are going into that campaign, the number that are connecting with us, and we can even mark prospects as leads or customers, which is really good. So it tells us the acceptance rate, what rate they're accepting. So in terms of what this is doing and the actual what the nuts and bolts of this campaign, I'll just wait for it to load. So we've got a sequence. So it's basically like a funnel. We're driving people through this automation funnel. We start off with a perform action. We're viewing their profile on autopilot. So that's giving you exposure, because people will see, you've posted and you've looked at their profile. So it's kind of they'll be drawn to your profile page. You've then got the connection request. What we're doing here with connection requests is actually dropping a personalized video. That's all handled by the system, and then it kind of creates a video bespoke to that person of me scrolling through their personal LinkedIn profile. I'll share how it works in a moment. If they've connected with us, a series of messages get followed up. We try various emails as well. So this is sending LinkedIn messages and follow-up emails in a sequence, and then you've got further options to send another LinkedIn message, or you can send an email if you've got Sales Navigator as well. So there's lots of different methods of reaching out to people, and you can kind of infinitely craft these campaigns so they can be really highly effective. What we see on a day-to-day basis then is once you've set it up and it's running, you're coming into your inbox and then just reviewing those that are kind of responding back to campaigns. As soon as someone responds to you on the back of an automated campaign, we're just responding back to them, or marking them as a not interested, or next step. We've also got a pipeline which is mapped out, so this is connected to HubSpot for me, and we can move prospects from one stage to another in that pipeline, and keep track of every stage. So it could be a phone call stage that you've got, and you can kind of start to queue up cards for that phone call stage, move them through to the next stage. So it's a very feature-rich sales engagement platform that we're using to kind of automate all that outreach to prospects. So that's what Leadith's all about. That's enough from me. I'd love to kind of hear from you guys. Quick takeaways from the session so far. Martin, do you want to?
I like that. I like the way that you talk through a straightforward step by step, which is always enlightening just to see it written down, or as you sort of amend the previous text, and it gets me thinking, all right, okay, so that's okay, but how do I fine tune it? And I think the answer to all of the processes that you put before us is just try it. I mean, I've signed up for Leader for, is this my third or fourth time? I don't know, but
yeah, because you've been in and out with
can't
different
get rid of me that
companies and
easy.
campaigns,
You
haven't
can't
you?
get rid of me that easy.
Yeah,
because I, to be fair, I know what it's like to send out, hi, I saw your profile. I can see some obvious synergy. You know, I'd love to connect or something. I've done what I thought the right thing to do. But your automated process has absolutely accelerated the number of contacts that I've got. I've got 17,500. The vast majority, more recently, have come from your campaigns. But adding the AI chat GPT alongside it is a game changer. I can already see that.
yeah.
So perhaps I'll have a more in-depth report on your desk ready for next week's discussion. Who knows?
Great. Andre, how do you find that?
As you were talking, sorry, I got distracted and created myself an account on Open AI.
Well done.
Thing.
Action is good.
So,
action is good.
yeah, I'm now, Chase. I'm gonna have a look at it just have a, because I think creating content is time consuming.
Yeah.
So that would be a great help.
Interestingly, in your line of work. Interestingly, in your line of work, Andre, software developers are using AI to write code, phenomenally quicker, and they hit a problem, an error, and they'll feed it back into the machine. It will say, you need to do this, and it's legal professionals who ChatGPT is it's like a 20-year trained legal professional. So when you throw a question at it, it will just answer it, and a junior legal person would just still be taking hours and hours coming up with a report or an answer. So it's incredible what it's achieving. So you've got to leverage.
And I'm excited about it. Everybody is kind of a little bit scared about their jobs, but I think it takes developers to write these tools, and then it takes developers to maintain them, and then it takes developers again. But yeah, so that was good. I like the order you were using in that. I didn't know about that. And LinkedIn, you said or director or
Boolean searches.
I wasn't aware of that. But yeah, I think I'm coming to the understanding that really automation is the way forward. I've been doing it manually, trying to pinpoint and target people, but there's only so many hours in the day. But so why I wasn't quite for it to start off with, like a couple of years ago, is I wasn't sure where the line is between spamming and actually doing it. But I think once you start to narrow it down and profile people and do all of this research up front, then it's pretty much what I would do manually anyway, and I wouldn't call that spamming, you see. So I'm starting to like that. I'm starting to warm up to this kind of way of doing it.
Great, thanks, Andre. That's great feedback. Paul, any sort of key takeaways from yourself, Paul?
Yeah, first of all, I've learned how to use Zoom on my iPhone.
Well done.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Alex. I've used LinkedIn over the past few years or so, but never got into any sort of like proper contacting, proper outreach or anything. I'm certainly of the opinion I need to start with automation. I've spent most of my life doing everything manually, and I realize now that I just want to do everything automated. And I really like the fact that it's really personalized as well. Automation has come a long way, and I think the personalization of it is important. I'm pretty much possibly even guessing that the email to me was automated, but it did look very personal, and that's probably why I'm here, which is great. So thank you very much indeed. I shall certainly be on the next call and learning a bit more. And Alex, I'll be in contact. That'll be great.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Chris. Chris, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to arrive late, but I only just saw your follow-up email. It's your first email I just totally ignored, and then your follow-up email, I thought, actually, that does look good. And I was already having my breakfast at 9:10. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been fascinating. My situation is a bit different because I'm more filtering messages that come in. So I've got quite a lot of connections on LinkedIn, and I get lots of people emailing me about stuff, and most of them are time wasters, but some of them aren't. And I've got a PA who goes through them. But I think I could either use this instead of her or get her to use this. I think that magical plugin is really interesting because we have certain replies. So if I can't work out whether they're a customer or not, I send them a message saying, "Are you looking for this or this, or why are you asking me that?" To try to find out, are they a potential customer for a training course or not. And I've been trying to train my PA to do that. And also she laboriously types out the same message to 50 people a day. So I think I need to get her to use that magical plugin at the very least. I perhaps need to get her to come to this. She's a bit like AI herself, though, because I can't work out whether I have to tell her exactly what to do or whether I've given her a bit of a path of if they do this, then do that, but I have to program her. She doesn't really think that much for herself. So I'm trying to work out how to use AI and my PA and magical to sift incoming inquiries.
Yeah.
But this has been really good. It's given me lots of stuff to think about because I've played around with ChatGPT a bit and I can see obviously how brilliant it is, but I haven't used it for work yet. But there has to be a way to use it. So it's been good. I might come next week, although I don't think I can make Tuesday at 9. I usually can't. But I think I'd also quite like to just, in a way, thank you for this by plugging you on my LinkedIn channel and just say it was really good or something, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful. Thank you, Chris. I've just got into so I actually the magical plugin works really well with Gmail if you use Gmail.
I do, yeah.
So you can detect certain messages that are coming in and then quite quickly set up templates back to people. So that's a really good one. But basically, I'll just show you super quick because I've got a 10 o'clock catch-up call with a client. This is Gmail here. So what you can do is I've got some shortcuts that are set up. That's the plugin. I'll just close the plugin so you can see it come up again. That's just an email signature.
Double slash again, do you?
Yeah. So we activate it with a // and then it comes up eventually. Here you go.
I forgot to say, by the way, your leader thing looks brilliant. That platform looks. If I was at the stage of my career where I was trying to pull in leads, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. So here we go. I've got quite a cool one. So this is basically a cold email that goes back to someone. So if they send me a cold email, I say, aha. First name, so it detects the first name from other open windows or something. So I've not actually got any contact records open. If I had a LinkedIn profile open, it would pre-populate the first name for me from that LinkedIn profile. But it basically just produces the copy for you. I've actually written this, so this is a template, but basically it's a pitch, basically going back to them, say, hey, you're obviously doing cold outreach. You want to try LinkedIn outreach instead because you'll get better results, sort of thing. Back to
you better hire me. I love it.
So but that's magical. So it does work. It's if you're doing a lot of manual emails, you want to try and automate as much as you can, save time where you can. But yeah,
brilliant. Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Next week we go on to email marketing in a bit more detail. But yeah, as you say, Paul, a lot of that is all automated. Those sequences, the kind of day before, hour before, and then a 15-minute before email. But ChatGPT is really good at composing the actual content. Yeah, very effective. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Alex.
Are you going to get the notes back to us?
Yes, I'll send you a copy of that ChatGPT script that we put together, and then you'll be able to play around with it. But yeah, very effective if you can kind of create your own kind of prompts that are tailored for your use, that really helps. Things like social media calendars. If you go to ChatGPT, say, produce me a social media calendar for the rest of the month, a post every other day on this specific subject. I want Mondays to be, thought leadership. Tuesdays to be testimonials from clients, and Wednesdays to be such and such. And it actually produces the whole calendar of content for you to then just copy and paste onto a scheduling tool. So there's some really powerful ways you can start to use this technology. Yeah.
Can I ask a very quick question before you go, Alex?
Yeah, super quick.
Which is, next week, email marketing, same time. Is it the same Zoom link or a different Zoom link?
Same Zoom link, Chris. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pass that on to some friends of mine. I think they'd like it.
Yeah, no problem.
you.
It's all about kind of deliverability and warming up inboxes and stuff like that. So yeah. Right. Thanks everyone. Take care.
Alex.
Alex.
And have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Yeah.